What kind gift is actually a nightmare for the person who receives it? A pet. Don't do it. Something that makes a judgment on you. I know you must be bored a lot, so I got you this. I know you must be lonely, so here's a cat. Etc. Those 6 feet stuffed bears. They are massive. A little heavy and hard to store. A specialized tool for someone very involved in that field. You're going to get it wrong. You've just given them the difficult decision of offending you by never using it. Or being forever annoyed by it. So, this is not exactly in line with the question asked. But I bought a toy gun on a market for my girlfriend's nephew. I hate the kid's dad because he is an absolute. So I asked the woman who worked the booth what was the most obnoxious one, and she quickly referred me to a particular one that had several moving parts that rattled. Made machine gun noises. Yelled, "Fire! Fire!" and blinked like a frickin' rave party. I was later told by the kid's mom that the dad had a temper tantrum one night about how he just bought that thing for him to me off. Yes, I did. Any kind of pet. Never gift someone the responsibility of life. Nightmare is a strong word. But the whole genre of trying to give someone who is an expert about something gifts about their area of expertise is really tough if you're not also an expert. I've been doing freelance photography for 7 or 8 years as a side hustle. A lot of times, folks will give me stuff like earrings shaped like cameras, a nice gesture but not really a thing I want, or take a stab at getting me some photography equipment. But the kind of stuff I'd actually want is really expensive. Nobody in my life is going to buy me a $1,200 lens. And I wouldn't want them to. So I end up getting the same $100 intro-level 3-point lighting setup over and over. It takes up tons of space and is way lower quality than the stuff I already have. Toy instruments for a child. If you're going to get your kid an instrument, get them a proper one. Not just any pet. An exotic pet. I got a hedgehog for my birthday one year, and while she was super cute, she was a giant pain in the wallet. I was a hit at Xmas for my nephews. Loud. Takes 8 batteries. Annoying. Wrapped and under the tree. My brother and his wife used to beg me not to. I'd go to the toy store and buy what I'd like if I was 9 years old and money was no object. Cheap tools. When I got my first car, different family members bought me tools. Which was a really nice gesture. Except some of them were garbage brands I've never seen before. While working on my brakes, I broke a racket the nub the sockets go onto and stripped a socket on a cheap set. I also broke the ratchet driver as well. Tore my hands up in the process. The mechanic gloves they got me stretched to thin and tore. Clothing that is 100% not the wearer's style. My ex-BS mom gifted me a whole bunch of really preppy clothes for my birthday. I think I wore everything once just to please her. And then gave them to someone who'd appreciate them. Once my husband and I bought a house, we got gifted a lot of furniture. But didn't know it came with the condition of apparently keeping it forever. People didn't want to gift us anything, they just wanted us to store their stuff they no longer wanted but didn't want to throw away. People think I am bored a lot because I am a no-kids housewife. So I get things to cure that non-existing boredom, like expensive craft kits or things that need new skills. Then they keep asking about it until I feel really guilty I didn't do them. But I have less time than they think and already enough hobbies, etc. Slime. For parents. 1 free breakfast in bed coupon from your child. I don't like messes and I have reflux. I will choke every bite down with the biggest genuine smile on my face to make my child happy and feel loved. But you better believe I am cringing and crying on the inside. Sometimes gift cards. If you get them a card at a store or restaurant they don't shop at normally. Or don't put enough of a balance if it's an especially expensive store. Or it's to a store that has no location near them. You've given them an expensive chore and task for the day. Oftentimes with them having to carry most of the costs. Recently, a friend received 2 recorders for their toddlers from their best friend. A book of homemade coupons for your sew. With things like good for 1 date of your choice. 1 free back rub. Good for anything you want to do in the bedroom 1 time winking face. And so on. On the surface, it sounds like a really thoughtful and heartwarming gift for your partner. But in practice it doesn't really work out. Almost anything that is written in one of these coupons is something that you should be getting for free from your partner anyway. A relationship shouldn't be transactional. You should be going on dates. Giving back rubs. And so on. Because you both want to. Not because you owe it to them. It puts you in an awkward position as a coupon user. Let's say I wanted to use a have coupon. I have to either use it when we were going to have anyway, or use it at a time when my partner says no to override their no? That's not cool. Not a gift for me, but a gift for my toddler that is a nightmare for me as kinetic sand or slime. Stuff just gets everywhere and the packs they come in give seemingly infinite amounts of the stuff. Vowed to never allow kinetic sand as a gift again. Anything that needs batteries but is not gifted with batteries. I literally never get around to buying batteries. Depending on your financial situation. A car. I see car commercials around Christmas and I'm like, WTF? Who has to keep paying for that? Insurance and the car? A pet. In order to help someone who is grieving the recent loss of a pet. It's really well intentioned. But people usually need time to get over that before jumping back in. If you have an old luxury car that you want to donate to someone, just don't. Luxury cars are expensive to fix, and by the time one is willing to donate it, it is likely pretty old and in need of repairs. If you do this, all you are doing is saddling that person who is already poor with a car that will wipe him out to fix it. A timeshare. The gift of a $1,000 plus a year bill that if you fail to pay and the resort has to foreclose on you looks just as bad as a house foreclosure on your credit score. Thanks, Dad. Clothes that are just a little too small to motivate your weight loss. My mom did that even before I was fat. It really me up. Giving a bunch of meals to someone. Especially after a funeral or when they're sick. When my grandpa died, my grandma had to tell all her friends to stop bringing her meals. Half of them just get tossed because they don't get eaten on time. And it takes up so much space in the fridge and freezer. And then the person has to worry about cleaning all the containers and getting them back to people and keeping track of which container belongs to who. It seems like a nice gesture. But it can cause a lot of extra stress for people. I was gifted durian candies before. That was fun and awful. The 12 Days of Christmas. It's 23 birds and 50 people. Which could get you a nice spot on the Interpol Most Wanted list for human trafficking. I remember reading about a king that lived long ago that would gift rare white elephants to people he didn't like because he knew taking care of them would bankrupt them. And that is where the white elephant gift exchange name comes from. Thought and prayers for those in crisis. Makes people feel like they've helped, but the people are still dealing with no help. My mill got me a bullet blender system. I haven't removed it from the box. There are so many parts and I have very limited kitchen space. It is also fairly loud and I have a cat that will go into psycho-spaz attack mode if there are any loud noises. I have to put him in a carrier out on the patio if I need to vac the carpets, so if I use it, I know I will end up cut and bloody. That, and I have a super picky husband, she knows this, who wouldn't touch a thing that came out of it unless I used it specifically for vanilla milkshakes. I hide the box every time she comes over just to make sure she doesn't see that it hasn't been used. Replacement pets. Once had a friend brimming with joy as she revealed that she'd bought me a new hermit crab when one of mine had just died. After I deconstructed the habitat and decided that hermit crabbery wasn't for me anymore. People will move on and get a new pet when they're ready. Fruit bouquets. You have to eat the whole thing in a few hours before everything goes gross and ends up being thrown out. But then they feel guilty for doing it. My default gift for wedding presents for people I don't like is a weigh scale. You will be indirectly responsible for their significant other's frustration. 99% of gifts are pointless giving because they have to. Not because they want to. I'd rather get no gifts than a ton of gifts. My ILs got my kid a basketball hoop several years ago. The kind that is portable, with a huge reservoir of water holding it down. I told them not to. But they said that the kid wanted it and bought it anyway. It has sat as an eyesore for years in my backyard. Let's weekend it was finally hauled away in a trailer. The basketball hoop was bad. But the bigger picture answer is, anything that someone tells you not to buy, please don't decide that you know better. Especially when it come to a gift to a child that parent had already vetoed. Anything with glitter. It goes straight in the trash. My kids have finally accepted my stance after some tears. V-Tech. I don't know if it's just me, but these toys are incredibly annoying and the info it's trying to teach is almost always way too advanced for the actual age of the child playing with it.